helping each member stay ahead of the ever-evolving landscape. We are proud to have four dedicated volunteers who make this possible: Rachit Garg, Umesh, Satya, and myself, Deepak. Together, we aim to create collaborative space where we can network, learn from real world experience, and grow our skills. So, thank you for being part of this journey, and let's continue to make this community stronger. In case you want to learn more about our group or would like to share any session, please feel free to reach out to any of us. Uh, this is a bit about our past sessions which we delivered. All those sessions are uploaded on our YouTube channel. So if you want to go and check those, you can scan this QR code and check it out our previous sessions. Today's session focus on batch telemetry agents in FNO. This is another installment in our ongoing series about different agentic AI. We are delighted to have two very distinguished speakers from Microsoft with us, Prashant Verma and Hemant Kumar. Both are senior fast track solution architect at Microsoft. They will guide us through this powerful tool and share their expert insights and best practices to use this tool. Well, upcoming sessions, yeah, it's a bit of Christmas time. So instead of toys, we have asked Santa to write some letters to experts around the globe and inviting them to join our community. So we'll be publishing upcoming session very soon. And if you see Santa with a laptop instead of slides, so you know he's helping us to connect, learn, and grow together. So without taking too much time, I will hand over this stage to our great speakers. Over to you, Prashant and Hemant. I'll stop my screen sharing now. Thank you.
Hi, Jim. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I work for Microsoft Singapore. I'm part of AI business solution team and yeah, been around in Microsoft for 12 years and started my AX journey from 3.0 version. And I have Hemant as well from Fast Tech team. Hemant, if you can just introduce, yeah, then we can get started on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Hemant Kumar. I'm in Microsoft Redmond campus, and I've been with Microsoft for nearly 14, 15 years now. And I've been like a developer and in Windows Phone from the long, long back days through different like commerce platform and Dynamics 365. I was one of the core developers for Microsoft Power Apps as well. So, I got this breadth of experience in customer facing low code, no code, and the business applications. Yeah, really glad to help out here.
Yeah. Thanks, Hemant. With that team, I'm going to share my screen and let me know if you can see my screen. And I want this to be an interactive session, so feel free to ask questions on chat as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my slide. So I want this to be like a more of a demo rather than I just speak from the slides and all. So I'm going to go into the uh, presentation mode and let me know if you can see it properly. Just give a thumbs up because I'm not able to see my screen.
Yes, we can
Okay.
see.
Great. So team, the batch telemetry agent, as you know from the name itself, right? So it's what it does is basically so in D3 finance and operation from PU update 45, we had monitoring feature for batch. So those who are not using this feature, so there is monitoring and telemetry feature in FNO. What it does is it sends all the telemetry data from your sandbox environment, from your prod environment into application insights, right? So what we are going to discuss is about the batch uh, application insights framework. So this has been live since PU 45, and in case if you have not enabled this feature, so on sandbox environment, we do not need to raise any support ticket to get this dashboard enabled and to see the data in App Insights. But if you are in the prod environment and you want to use this feature, then you have to enable it from here. If you can just see on the bottom of my screen, so there is a batch start time, batch stop time. So all these things are related to batch framework. So these needs to be enabled. And for prod environment, we need to raise a support ticket to uh, basically get some flights enabled in the prod environment. So that information will be shared when we share the slides. So all the links are over here, right? So with Bash telemetry, so far what we had is basically there is a dashboard which has been developed by Fast Track team, and it takes only 5 minutes to deploy this dashboard. There is no Express Plus code needed for this one. And you can directly download from the link which is there on the slide. And then you can then point this dashboard to the right application insights instance, and your data will start showing up for that particular environment. So I'm not going to deep dive into how the application insights monitoring framework works inside FNO, right? So I'm assuming that you have this knowledge that we are sending data from your application, like it's your application insights. It's not Microsoft application insights. So your data belongs to you, and you will be able to see a lot of information about your batch framework. For example, your execution history, about the throttling, about the CPU RAM, and also the SQL DTU information of batch AOS, right? So, so without doubt, this is a very important framework because as a business user, we rely on the batch functionality a lot. And if the batch jobs are not completed on time, and if they are taking longer than expected, then it becomes very important for the like IT admin team also to see the batch job from FNO environment, and they might need they might need to raise a support ticket to get the answers that why was the batch job delayed and why, so if it was expected to run within an hour and now it's taking, for example, 8 hours, so we don't know the reason. So to give you all these insights, we can use this particular dashboard, which I'm going to demonstrate. Let me go back to my environment and show it to you rather than from slide. So the source of truth is basically this dashboard where you can see all the data from your environment. So I have a sandbox environment. It's it has only one AOS. So you can see the time range which I've given is last 7 days. So I'm going to filter by last 1 hour. And you can see the activity which has been happening in my batch framework from my sandbox environment. So you can see the throttle batch task. If any throttling is happening and you don't know what is the reason of that throttling, then you can also go to like the batch throttling page in the same dashboard, which will give you. So the empty section which you see is actually because I don't have any throttling going on. It's only like a one box environment, right? So here you can get the reason, like in which batch job was throttled, what was the task ID, what was the event message, and also the CPU memory and DTU information as well. You can see. So basically, if you are an experienced IT admin or a developer, you can actually deep dive into this dashboard and see what is, right or wrong with your batch framework. But as a business user, like uh, usually we don't have the expertise to, because this dashboard is showing the unstructured data into a very structured format. But still, for a business super users, for example, working for finance or retail modules, they can actually use the batch telemetry agent. uh, by doing that, they can chat with the agent in natural language and they can get all the answers. So the what the agent will do is basically the agent will deep dive into the batch framework and it's going to show you the relevant information which you need to know. Is my slide visible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So 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 this agent is not a first party agent team, right? So it's not built inside FNO, it is outside of FNO, and it's built on Copilot Studio, and it gives the information about your batch job framework so we can get intelligent observability and insights for batch jobs. What I mean by this statement is basically because let's say you are in UAT or you are just about to go live or you are already live, and it's been like since past few months or past few years. So if you want to know the health of your batch framework, this agent will help you. So there is a prompt inside the agent which you can use, and it takes under a minute because it's a very heavy prompt. It will go inside your application insights. It doesn't use FNO instance at all. It doesn't go inside FNO. So whatever data has been logged inside App Insights, it will go there and it will do its analysis and give you a health check of your batch framework. And also it can give you a very, uh, uh, targeted approach that if there is something wrong with the batch job, what is the root cause analysis for that? Or if a batch job took longer time, was it due to there are no threads in the system? Or was there a throttling going on? What was my CPU that time? So all these kind of information which you had to go to LCS to get the information, now you can ask the agent to get that information, right? So I'm going to jump into the demo straight away. So I'm going to go to my agent. So this is the dashboard. So dashboard is the source of truth. In case you are not satisfied with the agent's reply, or you still doubt something that something is wrong, or the agent is hallucinating, though it's not, because we have done numerous rounds of testing for the agent with various models. So you can still refer to the dashboard, right? So I'm going to go to the agent. So these steps to install the agents are also mentioned in the slides and also on the GitHub. And there is a Viva group which we have, which you can join. I can add you over there. And this Viva group has all the informations about, all the customers and partners are asking a lot of questions in this group. And any support you need from the agent side, you can, post your queries in the Viva group and we can get engaged and uh, solve your issues. So this is how the batch telemetry agent looks like in Copilot Studio. Now users can either run this from Copilot Studio. They can also run this agent from Teams. They can also deploy and run the agent from M365 chat as well, right? So this is how the agent looks like. It has a set of instructions and topics defined, also a lot of prompts inside the agent to make sure that agent is not deviating from, whatever user is asking. So all those things have been fine-tuned in the agent. And there is a run analytics tool that is used to run the KQL queries, which are embedded into the agent. So treat this agent as a starter pack, right? It's not 100% solution, which you can still take it to prod environment and you can start using it. There is no issue with that. But if you want to extend the agent, you are free to do that, and you can involve MCP server. You can add various like Word, Excel report tool. If you want to generate a Word report out of the agent, you can still do that. So the extensibility is there. You can use MCP tools as well, right? So just I mean, the way we have given this agent is actually it's a ready-made agent, and it is like you can like further enhance the agent as well. So having said that, so the first thing which I usually do is basically to do a health check of my environment, right? So what I'm going to ask the agent is generate a report for me, do a batch job analysis of my framework, right? So I'm going to just copy paste the prompt which is there in the agent, and I'm going to paste it here. So this is the heaviest prompt that we have. So it will go through a lot of App Insights data for the past 2 to 3 hours. So when you download and install the agent, you are free to change the time range in the agent. By default, I have given mostly 15 minutes to 1 hour time range, but you can extend that also. And also, in case your App Insights is being used in various sandbox environments, that means your App Insights is receiving data from SIT environment, from UET environment, from a dev box also, right? So that support has also been given. There is a topic inside the agent which you can use to get data from like for a different environment ID. So I'll let the agent finish and then I'll explain what exactly it did, right? So this agent, uh, these are the key observations by the agent. So the way we designed the prompt is because this is the number one issue in like almost all the environment. Sometimes our batch jobs are overlapping. They are always running at the same time. They are multi-threaded, which is good. But if the multi-threaded batch job is using a table and that same table is used by some other batch job as well, so there might be a case of blocking or deadlock situation in the application, right? So to avoid that, this prompt usually based on our experience with a lot of clients which we work with, we have designed this prompt to give you that information, that how many batch jobs are running at the same time, and how many threads they have, or is or are they overlapping or not, right? So this is a short answer given on the chat, but a detailed report is also sent over email as well. So the IT admin or whatever, like while installing the agent, we have to define the distribution list group, or you can give use one email ID also. So I have received the email from agent, and this is a complete report. So here it will give you the concurrent batch job start times and overlaps. Then if there is a recurring long running job, it will also point out. So because I have only one AOS, it's a very small environment. Usually this can take up to half an hour or 1 hour to run. So it will give you the batch job ID, it will give you the batch job caption, and any bottleneck which it see, like batch job starting simultaneously, it will give you that information as well, right? And also, it gives you the key information about the heaviest batch jobs in your environment. So this is the batch job ID, and this is the name of the batch job. And it will also say what is my average duration, max duration, and how many times it's executing on daily basis. So this is one of the prompts which I use, and wherever we have implemented this agent, this is very useful. So, and second prompt which we usually use is, if I want to know if my environment is, let's say I'm a user and I want to start a batch job, and it's a very heavy batch job, but I don't know whether my environment or my framework is throttled. Like, are there enough threads in the system? So if I want to know that information, I can just ask the agent, let's say, is there any throttling going on in my environment? Okay, so there is no throttling in my environment, so it has given me null values, and it has given me the message that there are batch jobs are not throttled for the past 1 hour. Now, by default, you can go inside the topic, you can change the topic, and you will see a KQL query, and you can change the time limit here. So I've given like ago 1 hour to now. You can make it as a 3 hour also, or a smaller range can also be given. If you try to give a lot of range, what it will do is basically there is a token limit in Copilot Studio that will expire basically, and it can give you error. So make sure when you're using a date range for your ask, any ask you have. For example, if you want to know the batch execution history or batch error execution history, exceptions, info log for a given time range, it should be, don't give like 3 days or 5 days type of date time ranges. Though it can get you that information, but it's better that if you are modifying the existing prompt in the agent, you fine tune that prompt so that it doesn't time out, and also it is less expensive on the number of messages that you have, right? The last thing I'm going to ask the agent, okay, and the agent can also create graphs and other information runtime as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the agent about the number of threads which are there, which are available right now in my framework. So I'm going to ask, give me information about number of threads available. Yeah, so first it will, so again, this is past 1 hour. You can like modify the prompt as well. So it will give you the raw JSON as data. So your batch, if a batch, like for example, I have only one AOS, so it will give me there are 3 threads available on AOS 1 at this timestamp. Then there are 8 threads available, right? So it will then summarize that JSON format into a natural language which a user can easily understand. So here it will say most of the time 7 to 8 threads were available, but there were few dips into the system, and you can see only 2 threads were available at this time. And then overall observation it will give. So yes, I want to also visualize the data. So these are some of the things which we use. And if you find that your all the batch jobs are in the waiting status, they are not executing at all, you can actually ask the agent that, if there is a throttling or because of throttling, the batch jobs are not running, it can give you the batch job session ID as well, like the victim and the culprit as well. And then you can go ahead, and if you're integrating this batch agent with D365 ERP MCP server, you can take actions. You can either start, stop the status of the batch job, right? So here you can see at runtime, it will create the graph for you. And the feature which it is using is the code interpreter feature, right? So it will take the data which it demonstrated over here, and it will use the Python code at runtime to create the graph for you. So like this, you can compare to batch job IDs. You can do a lot of things here. So I'm just gonna take like another 5 minutes, then I'll take a pause. So these are the topics that we have. This is the version 3.0 of the batch telemetry agent. What you can see is basically, let's say you want to see uh, the data for a different environment ID. And if in case you are using one application insights in two sandbox environment, UET, SIT, or any other one, you can use this topic. You can take the content from the topic and then you can modify the other topics as well. So you can see exceptions, you can see execution history. Then this is the batch job analysis prompt, which did the health check of the batch job, errors log. And this is also very useful. Just one last prompt I'll use. So let's say based on 6 months of data or 1 month of data, I would like to know the trend of a batch job, right? And that batch job is very important for me, for example. So I'm going to ask the agent, can you estimate timings or, you know, give me some quantitative analysis, how much time that batch job will take, timings for a batch job. Okay, so it will ask for a batch job ID. So what I'm going to do is, if I'm a user, I'm usually aware of the batch jobs which I have, enabled in the system. But for this one, I'm going to go to the dashboard. I'm going to pick in the last 1 hour any batch job. Let's say I pick dual write system batch job, which is this one. I'm going to go back to the agent, give this batch job ID, and let's see. Okay, start time. I want to, let's say from 1st of December 2025 to, let's say 11th of December 2025, I want to do that analysis, right? I want to know the average expected time for this particular batch job ID. Like, so it's not a machine learning algorithm which it is using. It is basically a statistical formula inside KQL. And it's a heuristic approach where it will find out the expected time, the mean and the median time, right? So here you can see the expected timing analysis for this batch job ID is basically it ran 1200 times in this given time range for the past 11 days. It ran 1200 times, and the expected duration is 70.2 milliseconds, and the confidence range is varying between 97.2 milliseconds to 133.2 milliseconds. Now, these figures are very less because I have only one AOS, but if you do this in a live environment or in a UAT environment or a live environment having more than 20 AOS, you will get realistic like figures over here. So, and if there is a throttling in the system, you can ask the agent, if there is throttling or some event happened which you are aware of, you can give that time range and further ask the agent that why did my batch job was running slow. So it can give you that information as well, right? Uh, Before stopping team and passing over to Hemant for MCP, let me just share that you can download this agent from this particular link. So th this is the GitHub link, and you can go to AI ERP agents where the fast track has released various agents, and you can go to the batch framework agent, go to solutions. You can download the main solution from here as a zip file, and you can install it either through Copilot Studio, or you can install it from the Maker portal as well. Yeah. Uh, with that team, we can mix match this agent with MCP server as well to take any live action. And I'm going to pass it to Hemant now
Yeah.
for another cool demo on MCP server.
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah,
thanks, thanks,
yeah,
Prashant.
Hemant, over to you.
Do you want to pause for a little bit to see if
Yeah,
there are any questions or any
I'm sorry if I went
urgent?
very fast
No, no, no,
actually.
at least for me, it was a good pace because there was a lot to cover, right? Um,
Right.
any
Many
urgent
questions,
concern?
Hemant, you already answering that. Thank you so much
All
for
right,
that.
cool, cool, cool. No worries.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
So, yeah, I think like we set this up to share batch agent as well as the new MCP server and the capabilities of the MCP server, right? That way, uh, you can not only work with the batch agent, also combine it with the power of the MCP server to accomplish more tasks, right? Like as Prashant has mentioned, one of the core cool things that you can do with all these new things coming together is you can create this agent, add an MCP tool, add your radio connections, and publish it, right? Like, and from within Teams itself, like that will be your central command prompt, or like central command control, right? Where you can see, hey, what is my status of this particular batch job, and if it is slow or delayed, or if it is stuck, you can okay, restart the batch job, or if say it is erroring out and you need someone to investigate, you can use the tool to quickly create a ADO ticket for someone to investigate right from your teams, right? Like you are not leaving and going into multiple tools and wasting times, right? So
Hemant, sorry
yeah.
to. Are you sharing something?
Oh no, 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 I was just just talking.
Okay,
So let
just
me
double
share
check.
my
Yeah,
screens and see hopefully yes. Okay. Can people see my screen?
yes,
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Let me go back here. Right, like I'll talk briefly about the MCP server and with a specific use case in mind, right? Like I'm talking thinking about like inventory journal, right? Um, and this can be generalized as well. So if you see, like in let's take a quick look at like the real world inventory operations today, right? Like in every ERP driven business, whether manufacturing, retail, distribution, or public sector, like inventory accuracy is foundational, right? Like, it drives planning, production, fulfillment, and customer satisfaction, and everything pretty much. So, but despite all the technology we have, the reality on the ground still looks a lot like in this picture, right? Like people are scanning items, updating counts, sending spreadsheets, like emailing adjustments, right? And all of this has to make its way into Dynamics 365 accurately, like and on time. So, and this is where friction creeps in and like a human factor creeps in as well. Let's take a look at this persona, right? Like the where let's take a look at like Alex. Like he has access to Dynamics 365 FNO, and he's in charge of making sure like all the inventories are up to date. And everyone like from the floor managers and the inventory scanners, they send emails to him or upload Excel in SharePoint or business OneDrive for business and. It's Alex's responsibility to manually like verify that like the accuracy of check the accuracy of the data and yeah enter that in D365, right? So this is where like things sometimes can break down, right? Like so let's say warehouse sends a critical scrap adjustment late on a Friday, but Alex has already logged off for a long weekend, right? Like that email just sits there, right, unseen. But by Monday morning, the production team is planning with the wrong on-hand levels and suddenly a small timing issue like becomes a production delay for customers, right? This is the cost of relying on like people and timings to catch everything, especially right? Like outside of business hours. So now let's think about like the hero of the story, right? Like the inventory journal agent here. The think of this agent as a like your digital coworker, one who like never sleeps, never forgets, and never misses an email. And it constantly watching your SharePoint or OneDrive folders for like new Excel files. The moment a file arrives, it's ready. It reads all the warehouse product and quantity data inside it. Like no matter how many line items you have, like from there it builds an inventory journal entry into Dynamics 365 and with complete accuracy. Right? It posts the journal automatically or create a draft for you to review. It's all based on your like how you set up your agent and like what level of authority or authorization you give it. Right? And when it is finished, it sends a clean, simple confirmation email with the journal ID and summary of what was posted, right? So this is like that what the transformation looks like, right? Like on the left side, it's like everything is entirely manual. See either email or through SharePoint, like your and a person reading it, validating it, and posting. So there is when it's very human to kind of get tired and like on repetitive tasks there could be errors. So you have to double check, double validate everything, right? And that's where like your like AI agent like and LLMs really excel. Even if you're in the email or like in the Excel, if you have the headers or the table names slightly wrong, the LLMs correct it. LLMs make sure like they find the right tables and the right forms and enter the values correctly. Right. Like, so let's quickly see this in action. Let me share a different screen. Right. Okay. Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen, right?
Yes, your screen is visible,
Oh,
Hemant, but it's
okay.
very small.
Yes,
Oh, that's
you can
weird.
zoom in.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You're using a
well,
large monitor, Hemant, maybe, right? So it's like
Yeah.
a little bit small.
okay. How do I zoom in here?
I think it's okay right now. I can still see,
Entirely.
though I have a very bad eyesight. But yeah.
Maybe
All right.
control and mouse up key.
Uh, is it better?
Yep, better. Yeah, better.
Okay, cool. So,
Yes.
yeah, I've created this agent and this has just the MCP server, Dynamics 365 ERP MCP. This is in currently in public preview. You can enable this within your FNO environment. You can go to the FNO and enable this more MCP server. And I also have a like a send email confirmation as a connector here, right? So, and I'm giving like clear instructions so to say, hey, monitor this SharePoint folder or like monitor this OneDrive. I can also add a trigger saying whenever an email arrives with an Excel attachment, monitor that and pass that Excel, right? And I'm giving clear instructions to saying you're being a MCV like a inventory journal agent, right? And you are only to use these tools. And like here, like I'm saying, like do not invent or input create also all the line items for the inventory journal. So these kind of instructions kind of set as a guardrails for the agent, right? Like it makes sure the agents don't invent new steps or like hallucinate, right? By saying only use the MCP tools, like it doesn't go and invent its own tool, which will not be there, right? And if you can notice, like I am using currently like the Cloud Sonnet model. So for the MCP tool, what we in our experimentation, like we have seen this model works really well in reasoning, in experimentation, in kind of like finding the right thing, even in analysis of user input and finding the right forms and right tables based on user input and whatnot, right? Retry is much better here. So as you can see, I'm like I have the connector, but I'm saying like in the instructions itself what the email should be like to and the subject line. And once it is successful, send the data of the like as result of the MCP tool. And also like create like if it is failed, give the failure reason, right, with the details. Right? So all the this once these instructions are set up, All I have to do is go to my folder. Like, 1 second. Yeah. Go to my folder, like, and like upload a file, and this will start executing, right? Like I uploaded this inventory journal Excel. For this experimentation, like I have used a very simple Excel with the warehouse ID, and it has two line items. We have tested it for a lot of different scenarios with multiple, like 10 different line items, and it works fine, right? And the moment this is uploaded, you can see that like this is the flow which is triggered. Uh, Let me see. Yeah. If the flow was triggered, and it executed all the different steps, right? Like it is finding the file, it is getting the all the tables, and it is getting all the columns, so like rows from the tables, and sending the prompt back to the agent. So we'll talk about like the overall architecture. So once this agent is processing, the MCP tool works on the form layer. So it works as if a user, like based on my authorization, since I published this tool, as long as I have the authentication and authorization to update those tables, that agent has the same authorization, right? And it goes and creates, since form creation is like slowly like time consuming, it maybe takes about the as much time as a human would take going through the forms, right? Or maybe a little less time because it's doing it automatically, right? Like once it is done, it gives us like this structured email saying like this particular journal entry was created and these line items were successfully done, like entered, right? It gives out this kind of clear details, right? Yeah, this is what you saw this inventory journal in action, right? Let me go back to the presentation and quickly wrap up so that we can have more question time for the Q&A here, right? 1 second. Yeah. So now that we saw this in action, like under the hood, this is the design, right? Like any updates, any edits to SharePoint, OneDrive, or email, you can have multiple different triggers and monitor those as well. And it goes through Copilot Studio trigger, and the control passes through the Power Automate, or like the agent flow. It parses and validates the Excel, and yeah, that's where you can put all your validation logic. And within the MCP server and the agent, you can add more control as to say whether you want to create a kind of post the journal, or you want to create a draft and send an email so that you can manually validate and do that, right? And then once everything is done, say either success or failure, it sends an email notification, right? So now, like here's the real power of this approach, right? Like everything we have shown so far, the automation, validation, posting, right? It's not limited to inventory journals. So the same agent frameworks works everywhere across Dynamics 365. Right? You can automatically create transfer orders between warehouses when stock levels hit certain thresholds, or you can automatically create purchase orders the moment a sales order needs fulfillment. Right? Agents can even generate like general budget reservation entries directly from Excel files, right? Something that used to take hours of manual work. So, and honestly, like any workflow in Dynamics 365 that still depends on someone typing data into a form can be automated using this exact pattern. And we have validated with this with like multiple different customers, right? Like this is much bigger than just the inventory. It's just a shift towards like fully autonomous ERP operations, right? So uh, let me go. Yeah. So overall, like this is the impact what we want. So automation like saves thousands of hours every year. Right? Like it dramatically reduces error rates and keeps inventories accurate around the clock. Your team spends less times chasing emails and more times like actually analyzing the data and doing meaningful human work, right? In short, you move from a like constant bottlenecks to real operational breakthroughs here. So at the end of the day, like this is what really matters for Dynamics 365 customers. Like your ERP is only as accurate as the data that enters it. Right? Agents fix that by ensuring data flow into Dynamics 365 automatically and consistently. Right? Like that means lower cost, lower risk, and fewer delays, and far less dependency on like human timings. Right? This is the future of work where Dynamics 365 like is running together with autonomous agents. So um, here, like as you can see, inventory journals are just the beginning. Like say, once you build one agent, you unlock a repeatable pattern, right? Like you can use the same pattern across your environment, across your portfolio of customers, right? Count journal, product journal, right? Like quality orders, right? Fixed asset executions, like all of these flows follow like the same structure. Like so, you can automate customer and vendor creation, like pricing updates, even financial journals from Excel, right? So this is overall where we are headed, where in autonomous ERP era, right? Like a world where Dynamics 365 and agents like work together and run
Uh,
your businesses seamlessly. Let me,
Hemant,
yes,
Hemant,
go ahead.
hold on. Can everyone please go on mute? I'm not sure. Oh, sorry, Hemant. You continue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
No, no, no. I was just pausing for questions. So you are at the right time. So any questions, concerns, like
Yes, Hemant. Thank you for the session. Is it gonna work in FNO sidecar view, like both the agents? Are
so
we?
this one's yeah, you can add those both in the FNO sidecar as well. Uh, right, Prashant, like we
Hmm.
have tested it in sidecar, right?
The batch agent will not work in sidecar, though you can take the topics inside the batch agent and the framework in the Copilot Studio, and then it can integrate with sidecar. But it is meant to be a Copilot Studio agent, not a first party in like a sidecar agent.
Okay.
So it can
Yeah.
work on Teams M365 and Copilot Studio. So in sidecar you can integrate with it, yeah, but by default it doesn't.
The inventory journal one that I want showed, like it's an autonomous agent, like which monitors and like it's a Copilot Studio agent which you once you deploy it, it's autonomously monitors your inboxes and your share folders and creates those workflows. So you would not be able to kind of like chat with it on Sidecar. You
Okay,
can
got it.
create a like with MCP enabled, you can pretty much do a lot of tasks using the Sidecar experience.
Okay, thanks for that.
Oh, that was quick. I thought like it would take more time.
Tim, any other questions which you have? Any
Yeah, I'm
question?
just going through chat once, Prashant, if there is any question which is we didn't answer.
I have a couple of questions on the agent side, but not related to the today topic. Is that fine to ask?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so we work for multiple agents, basically a chatbot agent, and when we are integrating all the agents to the FNO sidecar, and the agent is not working. As an individual agent, it is working, but when we are trying to integrate, like adding all the topics and custom API into the FNO sidecar, none of the custom agent is working.
Huh.
Okay,
That
so
interesting. Like I haven't experimented a lot with the sidecar experience, so I might not be able to kind of like answer
okay,
that accurately. Sorry about that. I
okay,
can
no,
investigate that. So the
yeah,
your yes, issue is like the agents in general and topics, everything is working, but when you
yes,
integrate it with sidecar, the topics are not triggered, is it?
yes. If you
Okay.
go for custom agent from Copilot Studio, it is working, and we
Yeah.
have added the same topic on the finance and operation agent, and it is
Yeah.
not working. It's not
Okay.
working in the sense like there are some parameters that even though we provide the values, the agent is asking a repeated prompt to the user.
Oh, okay.
So what's the model that you were using inside your agents?
And
Uh,
GPT 4.1.
okay, you can try changing the
Mm-hmm.
model of the agent like 5.0 chat,
Okay.
or you can try Sonnet as well, because sometimes what happens with 4.0 or 4.1, which is the default one, is it it hallucinates also. Like it will lose the context very easily. Let's say you
Mm-hmm.
chat with the agent and you leave it for half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You come back on your screen and you again start asking on the same question. It might not have that intent or that context of the knowledge, right? So it will lose it. So it will again ask you the same thing. So I think also it depends on what kind of license you have provided, if you're not able to see it. But in my experience, if you have an X++ customization or something, that can also work if we are extending the sidecar. Yeah, it should not give any problem. But again, we need to see it like case to case basis, that why exactly it's not working. But try changing the model of that
Sure,
agent.
we'll try. And
Yeah.
as I know, with the GPT 4.1, it is not even the custom agent from Copilot Studio. It is not understanding 100% natural language. I would say 80%, 70% it able to understand the user prompt. So I don't see that 100% it is accurate.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is what I experimented with batch telemetry agent also.
Mhm.
So where I feel I need to answer straightforward things, it's a batch execution history. I know the batch of ID. Then agent can use 4.1 default. If I need to write a big documentation, a big report of, let's say, past 3 days of data, give me the analysis of that, right? And I'm doing some research in that, right? Throttling, a lot of other things, right? So it can do that. So for that, either Chat GPT 5.0 is a better model, or Claude Sonnet is a better model. So Sonnet will not lose the context. It will, at the first, it will store it in the memory for a longer time. So if you
Oh,
change the model and ask it, I think 5.0 should be okay for you right now instead of 4.1.
okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. But you're right
Mhm.
that 4.1 is sometimes like 80% or 90%, it will retain the values and it will also understand like that. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Professor. If anyone does not have any question, I have one more question. I'm utilizing product team availability. Just shall I
I'm
proceed
just
for another
picking up
question?
question from the chat now.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I will
Well,
take
yeah,
it at last. Yeah.
sure. So we have a question from Rinal that says, does the batch telemetry capture only the telemetry, or it also capture like number of records processed many times, many a times that a benchmark for every run?
Yeah. So currently, like we don't record the number of the number of records processed is not pushed to application insights. So that will not be able to be really read from the telemetry batch
Yeah.
telemetry agent.
Yeah. So we are not sending that information manal back to App Insights. So the agent will not be able to use that particular information.
Most of the other questions, either Hemant or you, Prashant, already answered. I have one sort of insight on this, guys. So we all know LCS is phasing out slowly, right? And there was a tool, whether we call it environment monitoring in LCS, where we see,
Yeah.
okay, what's batch is heavily running, etc., etc.
Correct.
So it seems for some part of it is going to be replaced by this agent, where I can see what's going on around my different batches, etc. So is there any, and I'm also not entirely sure whether this part is going to be part of PPAC once LCS is out. So is there any plan to bring more sort of tools which are existing in LCS as a part of environment monitoring today, specifically around the batch, and will be available in this agent?
Yeah, yeah. So, as LCS will be phased out, majority of the depending on whether that is a system level information or whether it's a app level information that was being available, those will be kind of app level. All the app level informations will be eventually kind of moved to application insights, right? Like as you can see now, most of the batch things are there. In future you'll see other areas, right, like DMF or like slow queries, or also we are like planning to move to application insights itself, right? And all the system level, right, like if you have your let's say memory consumption or table sizes and all those informations, like they will be available in PPAC, so they will move to PPAC in the future. So this will be the distinction. And once those additional data is available in App Insights, it should be easy for our batch monitoring. Like Prashant is like heavily working on the next version of batch monitoring as well, right? So where you can pick up a lot more information as product teams ship that data. So yeah, that's the answer. Hopefully that
Yeah.
clears it. Yeah, great.
Yes. Thanks, Hemant. Uh, so Manikanda, you had one more question. So if you would
Yes,
like to unmute and ask, yeah.
yes. Thank you, Deepak. So there are a lot of options are available when we are connecting to FNO. For example, custom API or else MCP data servers or virtual entities are open. So for based on what requirement we have to choose the right tool. So is there any guidelines or any document from Microsoft where for if it is falling under this requirement, you have to go this approach for
So again,
any.
is so for MCP server, so again, it is based on requirement to requirement actually, Gopal. So any specific example like you would like to give? For example, if you use virtual entity, so data entities are the, integration points, right? And you have virtual entities if you want to see the data in Dataverse. So you have Dataverse MCP server. So we have four MCP servers for different scenarios. I can talk about the D365 ERP MCP server, which Heyman just used in his inventory journal example, right? So it is just like another client you are using. You can chat with the MCP server. It will open up a particular form inside FNO. It can call action, type of menu items, display type of things. It will start with opening up the sales order form. Then it will ask you add customer like that. A human will do, right? So in that scenario, if you want to use the real-time information, then ERP MCP server will be used. In case you would like to know the historical information or from virtual entities in your scenario, maybe let's say on-hand inventory, right? Though you can use both Dataverse MCP server and also ERP MCP server to get that information. So we need to see how do we optimize it, which MCP server to use, which model to use, and what instructions are we giving to the agent so that it doesn't cost you much within the boundary, it gets you that uh, right information.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I
I
got
hope
about
maybe
Heyman.
I'm able to answer the
Yeah,
Yes,
question,
yes,
but
you are
again,
able to answer.
yeah.
so if you give me
And
various example, I can give you, okay, you can use
Okay, I'll
this
give you some
MCP server
example.
for this one.
Okay, I'll give you example which is available in tutorial. For example, if you want to go for a customer balance, there is a tutorial in Microsoft documentation. To fetch the customer balance, we use custom API Copilot. It is through Dataverse. We are calling
Yeah,
FNO.
right.
So I'm going one
right.
step ahead. If you want to go call for balance for a customer group level, in this case, what is the approach would be fine? Still, we have to go for a X++ logic and call the custom API so that Dataverse will be invoked, or we have to use any MCP server for this to get the customer group level balance.
So if the customer group level balance, if you can see from FNO UI, right?
Mhm.
So I'm not a functional expert, sorry for that.
Yeah, it is not
If
available. In FNO group level, you cannot see the balance.
you cannot, then your MCP
Yes.
server will not give you the answer.
Okay, that's a clear answer. Yeah. Thank you.
Correct. So you can extend it.
Mhm.
You can call your expressor method, your own classes also you can call, you can extend it to get that information. So I think that example you were referring to, so we can create extensions for that.
Yes,
But
yes,
if
that's
something is not there in FNO and you're trying to do it right, that functionality, so I think MCP server, the latest one will not be able to do. So we are also adding a lot of things in that MCP server. It's in,
okay.
yeah, so it's not a GA version right now, which you have.
Okay.
Yeah, but in future it might come.
Yes, Roshan. Thanks. I understood.
Yeah. And Prashant, like there are some questions about cost of the batch agent.
Hmm.
We can share once this is done or like within this as well. Like we can share the cost PDF that we had created for understanding the
Yeah,
cost for
so
the utilization.
right, team. So regarding the cost, team, so basically it's based on how many users are using the agent. They using the same prompt again and again? Or if there are 5 users asking the same information to the prompt, yes, it's going to consume extra messages. So there is a guidance which I posted on the LinkedIn with the release of version 3.0. that what IT admin can do to reduce the cost. In case you are asking very specific question like how the report which I showed you in the beginning, which I generated, how much that report cost, it will cost you around 0.04 cents. To give you the precise example, it will cost you that much. So it's again, which model are you using? How many tokens are you asking? Is it a very lengthy prompt or not? So it's going to add up to that. So that is the reason the agent has topics, so that the answer is channelized towards the right information without getting or doing a deep research, because it's a it's a log, basically an application inside. We don't need a rocket science to get information from the logs, right? So even like 5.0 can do the work over there. So it's about how do we fine tune stream it, basically, right? But we will share that information, though it is there in the LinkedIn post, but I will share it in the Viva group as well, the guidance, what we can do, what prompt to use, what like all the do's and don'ts. But again, the entire cost, it depends on how much you use it. If you use it 100 times in a day and there are 100 users who are using that, then the cost will be different. If one user is like using it a day, like 6 7 times, so the cost will be different. So it's how you use the agent. It's based on that.
Brilliant. We are just on time. So if there is any further question or suggestion from anyone, please you can post them to any of us, and we'll get back to you via email or via chat group, user group.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Prashant and Hemant. It was a really wonderful session. And I know, Prashant, for you, it might be really late hours. Thank you for arranging those times.
Thank you.
That's okay, team.
Thanks
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you
Thanks,
everyone.
team.
Thanks.
Great session.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so much for joining.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Great
Thank you.
session. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Hemant.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Umesh, for
Bye.
maintaining the lobby and everything. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Umesh. Thank you, Agrawal, for organizing this meeting.
Bye.
Thank you, Mani.